Welcome back to A Systems Entrepreneur. I am Kelly, and we are in our Debating Business series. This is the fourth and final video, and in this video, I want to talk to you about advantages. Now, we started with the status quo, where someone is right now, and then step 2 was the harms. What happens if you stay in the status quo? Step 3 was the plan. What is it that you sell that gets someone from the status quo to the after example? And the after is really the advantages of changing with the plan. Now, in addition to debating in college, I also judged a lot of rounds. If you were an upperclassman, you could judge lower level rounds. We judged high school debate. And then my senior year, I only had one semester left to finish college. I ended up doing a bit of coaching and judging novice debaters. And a debate from a judge's perspective is won and lost based on the advantages you can prove, not just what you claim. Because there are a lot of businesses out there that will tell you that their product or their service does everything under the sun. But if they don't have evidence, if they don't have testimonials, if they don't have a real plan to make that happen, they're just blowing smoke. So your advantages should first match up to the harms that you said would happen. So let's use a beauty example here. Let's say that you tell someone that if they don't have the appropriate skincare routine, their skin will develop wrinkles. And you have to prove that's bad. Wrinkles make you less attractive. I don't really believe that's true, but that's just the theory. The plan is that you buy the super expensive cream, and this cream will make your skin softer. It won't stop wrinkles, but it makes your skin soft. Soft wrinkles. You didn't address the harms. Why would you go to all that trouble telling me that wrinkles are bad if your product or your plan doesn't solve it? Now, you can say things like reduce the appearance of, because sometimes with, products, especially medical things, you have to be really careful about your language. But the point is, don't bring up a potential problem if you don't solve it. It's just as reasonable as saying hey, your dog could get hit by a car, so have this flea medication for them. Well, it doesn't help them from getting hit by a car. But if you say your dog could get hit by a car because it's dark and they have black fur, and if they get out, it could be disastrous. We don't want you to lose your precious dog. Make sure they have this collar with reflective lighting so a car notices and avoids them. That solves the harm. And as we've talked about a little bit already, these harms need to have a variety of impact times, and so should your advantages. So if the advantage of doing something is that bad thing won't happen in 60 years, it's not going to be as compelling. As people, we like instant results. We're used to TV shows where people make over your house in 30 minutes or, 45 with commercials will build you a whole new one. So people don't want to wait decades to get results. Your advantages can be a mitigation of harm. But if it's just avoid bad stuff, it's not going to be as compelling. So we use that example of the tax accountant. And the bad thing you can avoid is you'll avoid an audit, and aren't audits annoying? But the benefit is you get to keep more money in your business to do more things. There are a few things that people are naturally motivated by. Saving time, saving money, making money, and then all the avoidance stuff, right? Avoiding hurt, avoiding spending money, things like that. So make sure when you talk about the advantages of your plan and working with you, you use a variety of advantages to appeal to different people. Because especially if you're delivering something to an audience, right? Maybe on a stage, maybe just virtually, maybe in an email, you will not know that what will be compelling to your audience member. You might have 300 people and they're all tuned in to slightly different things. It's a better strategy, and I learned this in debate, to have a few different reasons why someone says yes than to have one reason and hope you got it right. There were a few debate rounds where, just by the nature of a debate structure, you had to narrow down your arguments, and you went for one argument. And if you could prove that argument, you win the debate. But there were also rounds where we went for one argument and we lost the debate. The benefit for sales and business is that there's no artificial reason to constrict the advantages of working with you. Talk about lots of advantages. Some people are really compelled by having a community of people that they're going through a course with and that they can bounce questions off of and commiserate with and have accountability to. Some people really appreciate having content which is delivered virtually that they can listen to at any time because they can't attend live calls. Other people really want live calls. Other people are drawn to your expertise. Other people need the training. So cover a variety of advantages of doing this work that aren't just not that bad stuff. And make sure when you're talking about the advantages that these are things that you can prove with case studies or real life examples. Sometimes I have clients bring on their current members or clients to talk about how this happens for them. Other times we use written or videos that have been pre-done, but you have to bring that proof kind of into the room. If it's just a theory, like, hey, I have this theory, if you work with me, you can double your prices and make more money by working less, but it's never worked for anyone yet, there's not a lot of reason to say yes to you. So make sure that these are things that you can prove, and that adds credibility to your claim. So the last bit that comes from policy debate that I use in sales and marketing all the time is that of an impact. Now in business, we like to talk about like, I'm making an impact. And that has mostly been co-opted with people who charge a ton of money and maybe don't give great value, but they think they're impacting people's lives. In the debate world, impact really means the seriousness. Like, how critical is this? And I think we can all do a better job of talking about impact, especially for, service providers and people who are teaching really critical things, without going into like fear mongering. So, for example, how critical is it that a business knows how to write sales copy that compels people to buy? Well, it could be the difference of tens of thousands of dollars in sales every year. And it can really save you so much time because you don't have to sell people one-on-one in long conversations when you have persuasive and compelling copy that sells for you. Gee, how important is it that you have the right insurance for your home? Well, let me tell you the story of a friend whose home burned down recently and how stressful it was for her family, and how having the right home insurance means of all the things they're worried about right now, they don't have to worry about having the money to rebuild their dream home. The last thing to think about is that advantages can be visceral or physical. They can be short-term fixes or long-term solutions, and they can be forward-looking or backward solving. So, for example, a lot of people like to give advantages like confidence. It's really hard to put a money value on confidence. But it could also be something like a physical plan for your next 90 days of marketing strategy. And that plan, which is a physical thing you can touch, gives you the thing that's hard to define, which is confidence. Now, some things are a one-time fix, right? It's a one moment in time and you're going to be here. A good example is, here's somebody who will do your hair. Now, once your hair gets done, it's not going to stay like that forever. So that would be a one-time fix. But a long-term solution that could go with it is the right shampoo and conditioner and mousse for your hair type to make it look fantastic every day. And then a problem could be forward solving. So how you're going to sell your house in the future, or a backward fix of how to make up for those 3 years where you didn't contribute to your your retirement fund, right? It could be, here's your workout plan moving further to create the strength that you want. And it could be looking backwards. Here's how to heal that injury that you never got proper care for. So keep those kind of frames in mind when you're talking about advantages, because if every advantage is short-term, one time, right now, it's not going to be as compelling as advantages that have a mix of long time, fixing mistakes I already made, and they give me something physical as well as something that is harder to define because it's more of a visceral reaction. All right, that's the last video in this series. Your action step is to write down 5 advantages that someone gets from you when they go through your plan to address their harms and change their status quo into something that is new and amazing and a different way of being. If you've enjoyed this series, make sure to subscribe and wait for notifications of new videos coming up. And I've linked all the videos below so that you can review them at any time. Thanks so much.